I'm going to be using the Christmas Gleaming Bundle that comes with these two precious ornament punches. And I had just opened this up last week. And it's like, oh my gosh, I've got to create with that because I love the paper, I love the ornaments, I love the sentiments. So we're doing two projects today, but you'll be seeing more as the week goes on. I think I have one this week, maybe one next week. So be looking for that on my blog and on YouTube. And so, first card we're going to make is this one, and it was designed by one of my assistants, and I just thought it was beautiful. I thought I have to do it. Okay, so beautiful, beautiful card with that holly and these non-traditional colors, just gorgeous. Okay, so let me get my paper out. And you wouldn't believe the 30 minutes prior to this video, I was looking for ribbon that I'm using on the second project. I have no clue where it is. And I'm organized, y'all. I'm pretty organized. And it's like, what did I do with it? Anyway, first world problems, huh? Okay. All right. I'm going to take, this is 5.5 by 8.5. And I'm going to match the corners here and score. This is very vanilla cardstock. And we're going to use that as our base, okay? Next, I have a piece of that beautiful brightly gleaming designer series paper. Look at that copper and peacock, woohoo! Okay, but for this one, we're going to flip this side and we're going to use this with a very vanilla holly and outlines and the leaves. And that's going to go over top of the card base like that. Thank you for sharing, Charlotte. Okay, let's see. Get some glue. This is our Tombow multi-purpose liquid glue. I just have it in a different applicator in case I have to get into some tight places. A tight squeeze. All right. Okay, so there's our beautiful background. And then I have this piece of very vanilla. I believe that's 3 by 4. I'll have all the details where you can find them later. Tomorrow it'll post on my blog. And this piece of the brightly gleaming paper, and I am using this side with that beautiful copper foil. Look at the stars. Those are cute too. And that's going to layer over that, but we're going to do some stamping on this first, some stamping and embossing. Okay, let me set this where I can find it later. And I'm going to get this Be Jolly This Season. It says and Be Jolly This Season, and I want to try to keep from getting the and embossed. So we're going to be sneaky and try to cover it up. This is an embossing buddy that is good to use on your cardstock before you emboss. It keeps the embossing powder from sticking where you don't want it. Of course, to emboss, we're going to use our Versamark ink. And I've got a Post-it note here that I'm covering up that ampersand sign, okay? So I'm going to take this and ink up that stamp without the end, okay? Kind of do it without it because there we go. I think that'll be good. All right, so we're going to go top center here of this very vanilla piece and stamp. Oh goodness, Lisa, look at that. Did I not clean my stamp? Whoops. Okay. Big mistake. Big mistake. Okay, let's clean it. And I was so careful, and it inked it just right. Okay, that's what happens. Live video. It happens. And I got my little Versamark pad all pink. What in the world? Yeah, I thought I cleaned that stamp. I'm going to just flip this over. Thank you, Tisha. All right, here we go again. All right. Lisa. Ugh. Okay. Do this again. Try it again. Now, I will say, since I was going to emboss this image or this sentiment, that pink would not have shown, okay? So if it comes up a little pink now, I thought I had cleaned it. It must have been red and I didn't get it all cleaned. Okay, here we go again. It's a little pink, but it's gonna do. Oh, Tisha, yes, I'm telling you, it's like, what in the world? Okay, so now I'm getting this ink out of the way, and I'm going to get my copper embossing powder. Okay, so there's still a hint of pink, but we're going to cover that up with copper embossing powder. Ta-da! Okay, see, and it didn't stamp the, well, it did a little bit, but I'm gonna, okay, that's good. We're gonna call that good. And then get my heat tool, heat it up a little bit. Hey, Debbie. Okay. Let's heat this up. I love this copper, don't y'all? Love the copper. There it goes. It starts getting shiny. And just about done here. Oh, it's so pretty. Okay. Okay, there's that. And I think I can go ahead and put this together. Like that, I don't lose my pieces. There's the pink jolly on the back there. All right. Okay. And then I'm going to okay, so that's ready to go. Put that aside, and now we're going to do some coloring. I'm going to get a piece of scrap paper. You can see I've already stamped and embossed 2 of the holly leaves. And I'm going to color these with a blender pen and our ink pads. Pretty Peacock and Mossy Meadow. Hey, Kathy, that's okay. Glad you're here. I bet you were talking to my brother. I mean, my brother. Your brother. My husband. Okay, here we go. All right, so now this. I have to admit, there was a learning curve, pretty big learning curve for me on this, because we're not using watercolor paper. We're using ink, you know, that I've put either, you can depress the pad or put ink refill there. And you want a very subtle look. And so I'm just going to share with you what worked for me. And sometimes it still was a little more vibrant than I wanted it to be. But I'm just going to share. Okay, so I'm dipping my blender pen in the ink here, and I'm going to brush it off a little bit so that when I go into color, it's not as vibrant, and it's still a little darker than I want it. See, still a learning curve. Okay, that's all right. We're going to say it's okay. Now I'm going to try it with just what's left on there, and that's better. Okay, I'm getting it dark on one end and then lighter, do a little bit of shading. So this is kind of dark, but we're going to say it's okay. So I'm going to dip again, but I'm going to really brush off the color and go with it. Better too light than too dark. Okay, brush, brush, brush. Okay, so these are more like I wanted it to look, right? Okay. Okay, there we go. Brush, brush, brush. I start like where the little dot is on the berry and then blend it lighter downward. And I had a little bit more trouble with the berries because it's a smaller area. But this is if, you know, I could have used my blends on this, but the design was done with very muted colors. And as if you don't have Stampin' Blends, you can definitely do this. Okay, so this one's a little darker than I wanted, but it's okay. All right, so I'm going to switch to Mossy Meadow. Now, Mossy Meadow, you all know, Peacock is vibrant. Mossy Meadow is dark. So, let's go with this. Practice. Go down the spine, or the veins in the leaf. And you're not concerned about getting the entire area colored, okay? Yes, Loretta, you could definitely use watercolor pencils, for sure. That would be really pretty. You know, do your color and then blend it out. I need to try that too, Loretta. I just know that this was the technique used on the sample, and so I wanted to try it. And I think it's especially good if you have, you know, if you don't have other coloring tools besides your ink pads. You know, I recommend everybody get blender pens. You can use blender pens with your, like this, or with your, especially with your watercolor pencils. Awesome. All right. Now let's go over here to this one. Oh, you're welcome, Loretta. Yeah, give that a try. Okay, I'm just concentrating around the veins, okay, of the leaves. Has anybody been making Christmas cards yet? I know I talked to a lady the other day that sends out 200. I mean, I send a lot. I don't know that I ever actually count how much I send out, but she has hers done so she can send them out the week of Thanksgiving. So she's been working on them all summer. She started in the summer. It's like, wow. Kudos to you, friend. Okay. Hi, Ann. Thank you for joining. Okay, so now we're going to fussy cut these leaves and holly berries. And so I don't cut on the line because then that's where I take a chance of cutting into the image. So I kind of leave a little area around. And you move your paper instead of so much your scissors. Especially with all these curves and points. Okay. I'm going to make it a little easier on myself and cut that off. Come around. Oh, hi, Brenda. Thank you. I love this. Love doing this little class for y'all on Sundays. As I was saying earlier, or I don't know if I was saying it today or whenever, but I've got a really busy couple of months coming up where I will be out of my studio for weeks at a time, or a week or two at a time. And so I'm working ahead. And so I can't tell you how many videos and cards and projects I've done since I've done this project. And so when I went to do this today and get all my supplies ready to go, it was like, oh, what did I do? What project am I doing today? And no, I knew, but it's just kind of like I have to refresh my memory because they all start blending together. It's fun though. I've been having a blast. I love all these sets from the holiday catalog. Okay. Okay, so that went pretty quick, didn't it? Okay, so now let's get our card in. Now we have the stars here, I guess, or the holly, but we are going to use these punches on some scrap pieces of this paper. So I have a little piece here and a long piece here. So I want to use the foil side. So I'm going to take my punch that's right under my nose and punch this out. Punch this one out like this. Okay, that's pretty good use of that scrap piece of paper, isn't it? Oh, you're done, Pam? Wow, go girl. That's awesome. Diane on that. Just practice with that cutting and try moving your paper more than moving your scissors. When somebody told me that, I thought, oh yeah, that's it. Okay, so now these are going to go here. I think I like this to stand out so. And then I'm going to put these here. Okay, so these can come down because it's okay if they extend beyond. I don't want to cover up my jolly. Okay, all right, let's get these on. Glue is somewhere. Here it is. All right, here we go. And then this one, put right there. And you know, there's a stamp for these ornaments too, which you'll see in a subsequent video, but I love being able to just punch them out of this beautiful paper. Okay, like this. I'm gonna cover up that dark, you know, berry. Not that it's anything wrong with it, but you know what I mean. It doesn't look like the rest of them. Okay. Hey, Karen. All right. I got too many dimensionals here, so. Okay, let's see. Here we go. And this one is going to go like that. Woohoo! I love these colors and the copper. Okay. Here we go. All right, and then you can decorate the inside. I haven't decided yet what I'm going to put here, but I'm going to take, no, I'm not going to do that. I don't know what I want on the inside yet. Where's my stamp set? You know, I could probably stamp a couple of the ornaments on the inside and then put Merry Christmas. So, I don't know. What do y'all think? I'm going to wait and do it later, but. Okay, there's the first project. Let me see if I can get this. What you think? I hope you like that. I loved it. And I thought I have got to share that with you. All right. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay. All right. Let's move on to the next one. Okay. Now the next one is a little box, but it can be like for treats or for a gift card. Okay. And I even thought that this would be cute to put like little candy treats in, and then you could hang it on your tree, you know, and if you have little carolers come by or some little friends with children or whatever, you could just pull one off your tree and give it to them. You know, this is, or an adult. I mean, everybody likes candy, right? Okay, but you could put a gift card in here too. Okay, so let me get my stamp mounted, and I'm going to clean it off. I know I just used Peacock on this one though, but okay, so we're going to be making a background, and my blocks need a bath. All right, got that. And this is the ribbon I can't find. I love it. I have no idea what I did with it, so I'm using something else, but you know, you can use that. Okay, where is it? Okay, we need this simply scored in because we are making a box. And we're going to stamp it after I score it. And you'll see why in a minute. Excuse me. Okay, so this is Very Vanilla, cut at 3 3/4 by 7 1/2. Okay, and so on the long side, the 7 1/2 inch side, we're going to score at 3/4 of an inch, 3 1/2, 4 1/4, and 7. Okay, then we're going to turn it and score at 3/4 of an inch. Okay, all right. Let's move this out of the way, and I'm going to do some stamping. So I'm using one of the ornaments to create a background. And this is Pretty Peacock on Very Vanilla. Okay, so this is going to be the front of my box. This narrow end, this 1/2 inch here, okay, is going to attach over here inside that one. And that'll be the back of the box. So this is the front of the box where the 3/4 inch score is, right here. So that's going to determine where I put my first stamp. So, that's pitiful. Okay. Ink it up, and I'm going to stamp right here first. Okay, and then you can just start scattering. It doesn't all have to be on the cardstock. Just scatter it. And you can see the scores after I stamp, but that's okay because it's going to be folded anyway, okay? Yeah, I lose stuff all the time. And sometimes when I'm recording, I'm looking all over for something and it is right in front of me. It's like, can't see the forest for the trees. Oh. Okay. And I just stamped the whole thing, even though part of it I know is going to be hidden. Okay. Let's clean this. All right. I'll put this ink up before I have a catastrophe. And we're going to do the burnishing and the cutting, trimming now, okay? So I want that to dry a little bit. Okay. Anybody been watching Hallmark movies or Lifetime Christmas movies? I have every night. I try to get it to where I have everything done. Today I have chicken in the crock pot. And so supper's almost ready. And easy cleanup because I used one of those bags in my crock pot. Yeah, Kathy, I knew you had. And I love that where you can just throw the bag away. Okay, let me quit talking and tell you what I'm doing. This is that little score, the small tab, okay? So I'm going to cut off that little rectangle at the bottom. And then I'm going to cut up on all these intersecting score lines down here. It's going to put together just like that. Okay, and here's my front. Okay. I probably don't need this one either, but I'm going to leave it in there for stability. Okay, I'm going to get some tear and tape. Uh-oh. I lost my video. There he is. Yeah, Brenda. Okay, here we go. Okay, we're going to bring this over like this. Okay. Then we can fold in our two sides. And where's my back? There it is. Okay, the back goes in first, and then the front tab comes over. Okay, so there's our little box. Okay, now we have to do the fancy stuff. So what I've done is I've taken a strip of the copper foil. It's 1/2 inch by 8.5. Okay, so let me get this, and I'm going to get the hammered metal, which is gorgeous, embossing folder, 3D embossing folder, and my embossing plate, and run it through the the die cutting machine, I should say. An embossing machine. Okay, so that only did part of it. So I'm going to put this in. And it's okay if I go back over it, but I'm going to try to just get that little bit there. Coming back from this side. Okay. There we go. Isn't that cool? I love that. Okay, and then I have another piece of the foil, and I'm going to use this large ornament that matches the stamp that I used. And I'm going to run it through the Big Shot with the hammered 3D embossing folder. And I mean, talk about fancy. All right, let's get this going. Oh, I got it in there crooked. Goodness, Lisa. Yeah, that wasn't going to go through for sure. Okay. Okay. Let's move this out of the way. And more fancy. Woohoo. Okay, so now I'm going to get, I can't remember if I used glue or glue dots. I think I did glue dots for the handle. So this is the handle, and I'm going to use about 3 glue dots. Now I remember. 3 glue dots on one side, on each side. Just give it a really good press, and see, that's going to hold really nicely. Okay. I think I'm going to put another one for safe measure. Okay. Come on in. And I've got about 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch. It really doesn't matter. Just whatever's comfortable for you. This handle is a little bit longer than the other one, but it's okay. All right, and then we're going to take this, and that's going to go over top of that one. So I'm going to use dimensionals. Yeah, the hammered metal on foil is amazing. Yeah. All right. And then I'm going to, since I can't find my ribbon, I don't know where it is, I'm going to use the copper, whatever, the little, from the annual catalog, you know. It looks like metal. This stuff here. Copper trim. I was trying to think of a fancy name, and it's just trim. Okay. I think I like the shorter handle better. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to come around, and I try to get like the top of that over the top of the ornament there. I'm going to leave it pretty long because I don't know if I'm going to do a bow or a knot. I'll try a bow and see what it looks like. Okay. Yeah. It's not the same as the ribbon, but it'll do. So now what I'm going to do is take it and open it up. It really looks like metal when you do this. It's easier to tie to me with leaving it in its original state and then doing this spreading of the fibers after you've tied it. Okay, and let's take this and really give it a good spread out here. I'm trying not to mess up my bow too much. Oh yeah, that looks good. Yeah, it is, Loretta. I mean, it's like, it's probably in a drawer that it doesn't belong in. Like, it may be with the designer paper, you know, the big pack. I don't know. Who knows? I'll find it, and I'll post that I found it. Okay. So it's not the same, but you get the idea. This ribbon is amazing, and I like to not cut off a Merry Christmas. I try to have the full word there. Okay, so for this, Another thing that'll help here is I've got thin strips, about 1/4-inch strips of Pretty Peacock. And I'm going to wrinkle it up. Okay. Okay. Is it going in and out of focus? Is the video going in and out of focus? I can't tell. It doesn't look like it is to me, but... All right. So there we go, our 2 projects. I definitely like this for Christmas better, you know, but this will do. And here's our card. So I hope you'll try that. This is a beautiful bundle. It's love using punches when you're trying to do a lot of some things. So thank you, Pam. Anyway, okay, all right. I will be back with you, God willing, next week at 4 o'clock on Sunday evening. If you've shared, please comment shared below so that I know you have, and I can put you in the drawing. And thank you so much for tuning in. And I will see you all again soon.